We interrupt your regularly scheduled program.
I am the chefadette of the United States. Let's go, chef. You cook and you cook. Today I am cooking. I am cooking today, not cooking, cooking.
Let's go,
chef. Sing along. Hit it. It's the Carolina Cook, the Carolina Cook, and the Carolinas. Rock and roll to the roll, the rock. Said I'm cooking in the kitchen and just don't stop. Rock and roll to the roll, the rock. Said I'm cooking in the kitchen, just don't stop. Cooking is my specialty.
Let's go, chef.
Turning these groceries into delicacies. The Carolina Cook got the rest. What's up, everybody? Chef Anthony Albritton here. The Carolina Cook, cooking, tasting, and eating. Hey, the Carolinas. In this episode, I will be cooking up a Jamaican-inspired dish. Ready? I will be cooking up some
Shrimp and octopus stew. Southern playalistic soul food. Once you get on it, you can't get off it. Let's go, chef.
So come with me. But first, get your Jollof rice seasoning, ginger, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, Maggi seasoning, Maggi, red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, green bell pepper, habanero pepper, scallions, which are basically green onions, white onion, potatoes, shrimp, and sea cat. What is sea cat?
Sea cat is Jamaican slang for octopus. It has a rubber-like texture, but it's a fine delicacy. Now, in most cases, after they catch it, in places like Barbados and stuff like that, they'll beat it to tenderize it, or they'll boil it for hours. But in this episode, you'll be seeing a quick way to tenderize this sea cat. My drawing is strictly comical. As far as we know, there's nothing in the sea that looks like this. Let's go, chef.
Sea cat is octopus.
Why must I be like that? Why must I cook the cat? Nothing but the dog in me. Let's go, chef.
And get your garlic, get some carrots, get some oyster sauce, get some cooking oil, and come with me. Take a trip
I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can.
inside of my mind and see how I did it. Let's go, chef.
That took a lot of energy.
I got a little spiffy for this one. I be styling like how I be styling. Okay? Because when you're cooking sea cat, this is how you're supposed to look when you're doing it.
Yep, today's menu is sea cat. All right. Now we're going to tenderize this sea cat. All right. You want to clean it, remove the beak, remove the eyes, and the hooded area where the head once was, what's left of the head, you want to flip that inside out so that that part cooks up nice and tenderly. Now, a lot of the rules that apply to tenderizing octopus does not apply here because I will be using a pressure cooker. Okay? So none of the extra stuff really matters. But I will use one technique to be on the safe side. Anytime that you're applying octopus to hot water, you want to go ahead and dip it a few times. When you dip it, you'll see the tentacles curl up. All right, you dip it a few times before applying it to the water, and that's going to help you come out with a good tender octopus. All right, you don't want rubbery octopus. One time I went to like a Chinese restaurant and had some octopus. I don't know if it was raw or cooked, but I ate it and it was very chewy and gooey, not tender, and it gave me the gag reflex. All right, so that's what kind of killed my taste. I really didn't have octopus since then. All right. Now, this entire recipe will be cooked in my pressure cooker. All right. Pressure cookers are lifesavers because it really cuts down on the cooking time. Okay. So, everything from tenderizing the octopus to cooking the stew will be done in this one pot. All right. That's how I even prepared my hot water. I boiled it in the pressure cooker. All right. This thing does everything. Everything. It really can make a chef lazy. All right. I'm going to infuse this octopus while it's pressurizing. So I'm going to add some garlic cloves, some onion scraps, a rosemary sprig, and I'm going to add some scallion to it. And that's going to infuse the octopus with flavor while it's pressure cooking. You can add a lot more, but I'm using what I got. Now I'm going to close the casket on it and let it tenderize for about 25 minutes. Next on the menu, I continue by mincing my garlic. I got a nice little gadget here that makes it easy. You put the garlic clove on the surface, press down on it, rock back and forth like a seesaw, and you got perfectly minced garlic. Check it out. Now, let's go ahead and chop up some carrots, chop up some white onions, and there you have it. Now, let's chop up some red bell peppers. Yeah, yeah. Yellow bell peppers. Yeah, yeah. Green bell peppers. Yeah, yeah. Chop up some scallions. Yeah, yeah. And there you have it. Veggies and fruit all prepped. Now, I'm going to chop up some red skin potatoes. Red skin potatoes is the potato I prefer because I like to mash my potatoes using red skin potatoes and leave that skin in there. And I'm going to leave the skin on the potato when I dice them. That'll give them some nice color, add a nice color to the presentation. These are also the type of potatoes I like to use in my seafood boils. The octopus is ready.
Man, y'all should smell that smell that's coming out of here, boy.
Let's go, chef. Okay, after 25 minutes, the octopus came out very, very, very tender. 25 minutes was almost too long because I actually lost a leg in the process. When I pulled it out of the pot, the leg came right off. Not my leg, the octopus's leg, all right? But 25 minutes was almost too long. It was very, very tender. After removing it from the pot, I added it to some ice water. That way, it would stop the cooking process and further tenderization, and it will also make it cool enough for me to be able to handle it to cut the octopus up. Also, when the water is pink, you know that octopus is done as well. All right, but what I'm going to do, since this water made a pretty good stock from the added ingredients as well as the octopus, I'm going to go ahead and reserve this water to the side, and I'm going to use some of it for the stew. But what I have to do is transfer this water from the pressure cooker to another container because, as I stated, I will be using the pressure cooker for the entire meal. All right, now that the octopus has cooled down, I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the ice water, place it on the chopping board, and cut it up into pieces. All right, y'all, let's get this cat cooking. What I'm going to do now is start a saute. So I'm going to put some oil and butter in my pressure cooker. Then I'm going to add my onions and start a saute on the onions. Now, after giving the onions a little time to get acclimated, I'm going to go ahead and add my minced garlic, stir that around in there until I start smelling those aromas release. Now, let's go ahead and add some ginger paste to the onion and garlic. And here's what's up, Doc. We're going to add those carrots to that. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my red, yellow, and green bell peppers. Give them a little splash of Jamaican colors. Make we go, chef. Chef Anthony Albritton in the house. Watch for you mocked. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add these red skin potatoes to it. And all of that is just going to give it a little splash of colors and presentation. And just in case y'all forgot that we making a stew, I'm going to go ahead and add some diced canned tomatoes. Then to give a little thickness and body to that stew, I'm going to add some tomato paste. I'm going to go ahead and get that tomato paste mixed up in there. Next, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of Maggi seasoning. Then I'm going to come behind that with a couple teaspoons of oyster sauce. Then I'm going to season it with some Jollof rice seasoning. All right, this is kind of spicy, so if you're going to use it, be careful. Now, if you don't like spice, use something else. Use your seasoning of choice. Now, as you can see, that tomato sauce and tomatoes produced quite a bit of liquid in here, but that's not enough, so we're going to help it out since it's a stew. We want more liquids. So what I'm going to do is add that nice stock from the octopus that I had on reserve. We're going to pour some of that into the stew. Then, for good measure, as well as good flavor, mostly, I'm going to add some more butter to this stew. All right, then I'm going to let this pressure cook until these carrots and potatoes are tender. That'll be 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so it's been around 15 minutes. You don't want your vegetables to be over tender to the point where they're brittle and crumbling up. So 15 minutes, around 15 minutes, they're still firm but tender. So I'm going to go ahead and put the final touch on this stew by adding some peeled and deveined shrimp. Then I'm going to stir those shrimp around in there until they cook. You can observe the shrimp and see when the color changes. That'll let you know the shrimp is done. And the octopus is already cooked, so I'm just going to add the octopus to it, stir it up. Then we'll have ourselves some sea cat stew with shrimp. Now, one thing I learned about these peppers, if you taste it naked or touch your face, whatever, after contact with it, they're pretty hot. But once you cook them into your food, you know, it gives you a little bite, but it gives you a lot of flavor as well. But I don't want this to have a lot of bite, so I'm putting my pepper in towards the back end. You can stew your pepper in it when it's time to tenderize your potatoes and all of that in that step, but I choose to put it in on the back end, let it steam in there for a couple minutes, then take it out. I understand that quite a few Africans and Jamaicans and stuff, they just put a whole lot of peppers in their pot. Not me. So I try to keep it at a minimum, you know. Try to get that taste, try to get a little benefit from that pepper, but not too much. Get your bowls, because we cooking up stew. There you have it, y'all. Octopus and shrimp stew with basmati rice. Sea cat and shrimp stew. All right. Look at those colors. Pleasing to the eye and pleasing to the palate.
Cooking is my specialty. Getting dirty in the kitchen like ODB. Turning these groceries into delicacies. The Carolina cook got the recipe. The Carolina cook got the recipe. The Carolina cook got the recipes. Cheers.
Why must I be like that? Why did I cook the cat? Nothing but the dog in me.
Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, share the love, and subscribe to the channel to get me into the rhythm of the algorithm. And just remember, don't be afraid to get behind what you're trying to do and do it. Y'all get intimidated and get locked up when it's time to release what you may have been put here to do. You worry about the voices in your head. You worry about the doubt. You worry about the naysayers and everything like that. But you can't let nobody intimidate you out of your talents and your gifts. Some people gonna like it, some people not.
This world is funny, man. You can be extra good at what you do, and people will try to punk you out of it. I've seen people like Floyd Mayweather, people good basketball players, good boxers and stuff, so good at what they do that they got hated on for it. Emmanuel Augustus, people like that, boxers like that and stuff, was so good at what they did that people didn't like them for it. You know? And that's how it's gonna be sometime when you good at something, man.
Stop letting people punk you out of your blessings. Liketh, shareth thou the love, and subscribeth unto my channel. And smiteth,
Watch for the hook.
that notification button. Thank you. Let's go, chef.